and the biographies of all the speakers you will find in your folder. So the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. And thank you very much for the invitation, and specifically to the Russia and Eurasia Studies Center and links for organizing this conference. The topic chosen by the organizers is a challenging one, even more so in the context of ongoing global processes and the moment of chaos, to quote High Representative Mogherini, and the strategic uncertainty the world is undergoing, which one way or another are impacting on the region. How can the South Caucasus be defined? Often a region, and this is certainly true of the South Caucasus, is defined in political and or geographic terms. But these should not be the only criteria. 27 years now following the restoration of their independence, each of the three South Caucasus countries is developing its own way and is also seeking relationships with and integration into different organizations, alliances, and with key players in the world and the region itself. One could say that this is part of realpolitik. However, Armenia, Azerbaijan, and Georgia are also all members of the United Nations, the OSCE, and the Council of Europe, and have thus assumed rules-based obligations and commitments. This is important, as these obligations and commitments do not recognize dividing lines, but uphold values and principles as a basis for action. This is what the EU expects the three South Caucasus countries to live up to, and supports them at the regional and bilateral level in the framework of the Eastern Partnership as a joint, inclusive, and transformative initiative. How could the South Caucasus countries benefit from the strategic location of the region? I hope this will be an important part of today's discussion. The EU wants Armenia, Azerbaijan, and Georgia as partner countries to help release the full potential of our neighboring South Caucasus region as a strategic gateway between Europe and Asia. This would foster stability and security and prosperity in the entire region and beyond. This is in the best interest of our partner countries, and it is in the best interest of the EU too. I expect today a thought-provoking discussion on the interplay of internal, regional, and wider international factors that could help attain or instead hamper this goal. Resilience starts at home. This makes me recall our shared commitment in the Eastern Partnership framework to fundamental values, including democracy, the rule of law, and respect for human rights and fundamental freedoms, the functioning market economy, sustainable development, and good governance. Poverty, inequality, a perceived sense of injustice, corruption, weak economic and social development, and lack of opportunity, particularly for young people, can be roots for instability, increasing a society's vulnerability to radicalization. The South Caucasus region, in terms of security, economy, and development, has been severely impacted by unresolved conflicts, which all have their own specificity. These conflicts have torn countries and the region's social fabric apart, and they now stand in the way of regional cooperation and the opening of borders. They hamper democratic development and don't allow all citizens to exercise their fundamental freedoms. For the EU, the current situation and lack of movement towards conflict resolution is obviously unacceptable. Together with my fellow UN and OSCE Geneva International Discussion co-chairs, the EU therefore pools efforts in addressing the consequences of the conflicts in Georgia. This is not an easy task, and it has become even more difficult of late. The EU also actively supports the efforts of the OSCE Minsk Group co-chairs towards peaceful resolution of the Nagorno-Karabakh conflict. And I just spent 2 days in meetings in Baku last week. The conflicts have certainly shaped the three countries. No one should forget human tragedy, loss of life, and broken destinies. The societies are struggling to overcome the pain. Yet the years of restored independence have also brought a lot of change in terms of development, of which each partner country is justly proud. I also believe that a forward look beyond the horizon should help us see the benefits deriving from conflict resolution and arising opportunities for partner countries and the region as a whole. Conflicting international agendas will be discussed later today. While part of life, as some would say, we also need to take into account inclusive and transformative opportunities, and the EU promoted agenda through the Eastern Partnership. This is not an initiative based on dividing lines. A world split in spheres of influence, this is not the EU logic. And we fully respect the decisions of our partners regarding the level of association with the EU that they wish to pursue. I look forward to lively discussions and useful ideas that I can also draw on in my work in the future. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed. And